Hey, what's up guys? My name is Stevie and welcome back to the channel. So today guys, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to do something that has been highly requested. I say highly requested. I get a lot of questions on Twitter, Discord and even Instagram by fellow ARK YouTubers in general, even bigger ARK YouTubers. And they've come to me, Stevie, how do you get your thumbnails like that? How do you get the image so crisp? How do you get the background blurred? And all that type of good stuff. So I thought today I'm going to expose all my secrets and we're going to go from the very start to the very finish. So we're going to be starting with a blank canvas like this and we're going to end up with a finished product like this. It's going to be absolutely awesome and I really hope you guys do go on to enjoy. Remember, if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like down below and consider subscribing as well, guys. It's free after all, and where else are you going to get a professional thumbnail tutorial from? So guys, sit back, relax, grab some popcorn, grab a drink and let's get right in to this tutorial. Okay, so first things first, we are literally starting from a blank canvas. I'm on my desktop here, as you can see. So like I said, we're going to go from beginning to end. This is going to be an ARK Survival Evolved thumbnail because that is a game I predominantly play here on the channel. So it's going to be an ARK thumbnail, but I'm going to show you from start to finish. So we're on the desktop right here. We need to load up ARK with NVIDIA Ancil. So if you don't have a PC, then unfortunately this feature isn't available on console, but you still can take screenshots on console, which you can still turn these images into works of art. But for this purpose of this video, we're using NVIDIA Ancil. So I'm going to go over to my library. I'm going to find ARK Survival Evolved right here. I'm going to right click, I'm going to play, and I'm going to launch with NVIDIA Ancil. That is the first step in this process. So let's get that game loaded up, close off Steam, and we'll wait for the game to load. Okay, ARK has loaded up. So to enable the full features of NVIDIA Ancil, we're going to go ahead and host a local game, so single player. I'm playing on Fjordor at the moment with Primal Fear. So I'm going to load up Fjordor because it will just make sense for a thumbnail for me. And obviously if you're using mods, add these mods into your single player world. Especially a mod like Primal Fear, because you're going to be able to get them awesome dinos to spawn in as well. So we got Fjordor. I've got the mods installed that I need. And then we're going to go ahead and play single player. It's going to take a little while to load up, so I'll bring you guys back once we're in game. Okay guys, so we are in game right now. And as you can see, I've got this awesome Celestial Indominus Rex, which I did use for a previous thumbnail. So as you can see, I've got heavyweight. So all I'm going to do is, firstly, disable this music. There we go. Let's disable that. We don't need that on for today. Right, so obviously first things first, I like to go into GCM. It just makes it easier, especially when you're trying to tame a dino and you get killed by it. But for the purpose of today's video, we're going to be using this Indominus Rex. So I've already spawned it in, so you can easily spawn that in if you want to. So there we go. We've got our Indom. But as you can see, we've got a load of stuff on the screen. So all you want to do, hit backspace. That gets rid of that. Makes it nice and clean. Alright, cool. So, I'm going to hop onto the creature. I'm going to stay here. This is where I want the thumbnail to be, because it's nice sunlight. We've got a nice castle. Got a nice waterfall there. So, the background looks pretty cool. Might just reposition him just ever so slightly. Okay, and there we go.
So
what I also like to do is go into slow-mo, type in slow-mo in the tab, and then slow-mo, let's say 0.5. That's going to slow the game down ever so slightly. So when you go to do the mighty roar, you will it will go slow motion. So I'm going to do a roar, and then once I've got that kind of worked out where I want him to roar and where I want to capture, I'm going to press Alt and F2. So let's just go ahead and make the guy roar. So as you can see, we're going for it right now. Okay, and then I'm going to press Alt and F2. That brings up this menu, photo mode. So as you can see, we're on capture screenshot. So we're going to go through each setting which I have. So I'm going to change screenshot to super resolution photo. Now this may depend on how big your PC rig is, how much memory you've got, graphics card, etc, etc. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to go super resolution photo. Method, I'm going to change that to enhanced. And then resolution, all I'm going to do is up that to 3. So 5760 by 3240. Anything higher, I mean, you can go as high as you want. You know, as long as you've got the memory to take that screenshot, you can go as high as you want. However, YouTube has a 2 megabit cap on upload. So do not make your thumbnail too big, because when you put it into Photoshop or wherever you use to edit your videos, your thumbnails, YouTube, it may be too powerful for even YouTube. So just bear that in mind. It has to be under 2 megabit. Okay? So capture, super resolution, resolution times 3, method enhanced. Now, this is where it gets a little bit more difficult. We've got some filters down here as well, and we've got a camera, field of view, and roll. But first of all, we're going to click on the actual screen, and we're going to use our WASD to move around. And you can press shift to go a little bit quicker. So as you can see, there is our Rex. There is our Indom right there, okay? So, with the camera roll, it does exactly what it says on the tin. It rolls the image. So you can roll it around and do whatever you want with it. We're not going to be playing around with that just yet. We're going to put that back to 0. There we go. Field of view. This is what I normally play with. So field of view, again, you can zoom in. You can zoom out. The further you zoom out, the more wide angle you get. And it just, I don't know. I don't like it like that because it just stretches the creature out. What I like to do is normally go to about between 30 and 40. Somewhere around there. You can zoom out a little bit. And that just brings the dino in like that. I mean, that just looks awesome already. And you can like fiddle around, try and get the perfect angle for the Rex and everything like that. So we're going to go, I mean, you can even get in like a few like that if you want. Bit of grass. If you go a bit further back, depending on where you've took the screenshot, you might be able to get a tree in. Where did the creature go? There he is. Might be able to get a rock in there like that or something, just to add a little bit of character to it. So yeah, it really does depend where you stand. But for the purpose of this, we're just going to take this screenshot. We're going to zoom in. We're going to go about here, I believe. Tell you what, should we get the rock in? Should we get the rock in as well with a bit of grass? Something like that. The rock in the corner, maybe. That looks pretty cool. Let's do that. Something like that. Okay, so we've got where we want to take our image. There. Perfect. So now we come into filters. So you add a filter. You want to add in... you can add any filter you want. But I like to add... where did it go? I like to add... I think it's because I've already added it. Depth of field. So depth of field is what you're looking for, basically. So then this changes the blur in the background. So if we went all the way down like that, the whole image is blurred. If we go all the way up to the top, the image is not blurred. You got your far blur curve. So if let's put this onto let's put it onto 50 for now. So you got your far blur curve, which does that. I like to have that all the way on 0. Your near blur curve, which again, you can see the grass slowly coming into render. I like to have that all the way up to 100%. Blur radius, that depends how much you want your screen to blur. How much you want it to blur. It's totally up to you. Personal preference. Personally, I like to have mine at around between 50 and 60%. So that's absolutely fine. So we'll go 57. Invert depth Z axes, I like to just keep that on. Invert depth Y, I like to keep that turned off. It just looks better. You see it looks a bit ropey up there. So if we turn that off, that's absolutely fine. So it's focus depth. Obviously the creature is really blurred at the moment. So obviously if we go to the left, it blurs even more. You want to go to the right. And then that just brings the creature into focus. And as you can see, everything else starts coming into focus too. So you really want to play around with this. And you want to get it to where just the background's blurred. But the creature itself is in render. Just like that. In fact, let's just move this around a little bit. I'm not a fan of that rock. Let's do that. That looks much better. Just there. So as you can see, everything's blurred in the background. Apart from the creature. The creature stands out. The creature's right there in your face. So that is what we're going to do. So these are my settings for this current image. So we'll start from the top. Capture. Super resolution. Resolution times 3. Method enhanced. Save as HDR, turn that off. Show grid, turn that off. Camera, roll, 0. Field of view, 37. Depth of field, focus depth, 91%. Far blur curve, 0. Near blur curve, 100. Blur radius, 57. Invert depth Z, on. Invert depth Y, off. And that is how this image is coming out. So, all you want to do then is, obviously, because you've got your HUD hidden as well by pressing backspace, we're going to go and snap that image. And there we go. Super resolution photo has been saved to gallery. So all you do is go done. And there we go. So let's just change this back to normal pace. There we go. Right. Okay. Now we can exit the game. We've got our thumbnail. And then we head over to Photoshop. Okay, with Photoshop open then, we are going to go ahead and go to create new. We're going to make an image by 1280 by 720. Don't do it 1920 1080. Don't do that. 1280 by 720. Resolution 300. RGB color 8-bit. You want pixels. And yeah, these are the settings I use. I always have my background contents black, but you can have it transparent if you want to. I always have it black. So these are my settings. We're going to go ahead and create new. Okay, there we go. We got ourselves a blank canvas. So I'm going to go into my images and find this picture. So mine saves in videos for some reason. So we're going to go all the way down. All the way down. There's all my screenshots. And then here, right at the end, is our guy. So let's just do that. And then I'm going to drag him over and place him in. There we go. He's placed in. Beautiful. So it looks a bit bland at the moment. We need to put, obviously make our thumbnail border and all that type of stuff. So on the image itself here, so not this one, this one, I'm going to press Control and U, and that's going to bring up the hue and saturation. Saturation, all I like to do is turn that up ever so slightly. Going to turn it up to 30. Then press OK. And then as you can see, that just gives it a darker look, darker feel to that image. It looks pretty nice. So I'm going to make the thumbnails I've got with the transparent border. Only you can sort of, if you click on this little image here, this little cutout rectangle, hover over the image, make sure this is selected, right click, and then free transform. You can then make this image as big or small as you want, and you can you know, move it around and all that type of stuff. So for the purpose of this, I'm going to move it around a little bit. Going to do that. Beautiful. Just so there's a little bit of his head sticking out and a little couple of his spikes are sticking out, because that will come into play a little bit later on. So now we need our border. We've got our image. We need our border. So what I'm going to do is make a new layer, and then I'm going to go over to this rectangle tool down here. Going to select that, and I'm just going to make a rectangle. Doesn't matter where. Now obviously you're thinking, Stevie, this isn't a border. Don't worry about it. We'll fix it. Over here on the right side, you got appearance. You want to click on fill and just close that off. Stroke, you want to click on white, and then pixel size. Normally I make it about not 15, maybe about 10 perhaps. And then on here, where's the next bit? I think, oh yeah, down here on this little bit, just under pixels, you want to go to, I think, the top one. Yeah, the top one. So the line is on the outside rather than in the middle of the shape, because you'll lose half of it when you drag it out. So put that up there. Then all you do, drag this to the corners, just like so. And then there we go. So we've got a white border. It's not very good at the minute. We need to make it transparent. So all I'm going to do is double click on this layer. That brings up a layer style. And then blending options, I'm going to turn that all the way down. So obviously the border has disappeared now, so that's fine. So that's fill opacity. Going to turn that all the way down. No problem at all. We're going to go to color overlay. So yours might be on normal, but go all the way down and click on overlay. And that brings up this light border around the edge. And then what we're going to do is add in an outer glow. So outer glow, and then normal, 100% opacity, softer. And then we're going to turn down the size a little bit, just so it adds that a little bit of depth to the border. So maybe like a 5. So as you can see, we've got that dark sort of depth to the border. It makes it sort of 3D, like stick out type thing. Looks pretty cool. There we go. We've got our border in. Very nice indeed. So the Rex is underneath the border. So what we're going to do is we're going to right click on our Rex, and we're going to go to rasterize layer, and that enables us to edit. We're finished with this layer, so we can go ahead and rasterize it. So we obviously want the things above the border. So we're going to hide our border for a minute. So let's get rid of that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go over to where did it go? Little pen tool. This little pen tool here. And then that enables us then to draw lines around. So we're going to zoom in. We're going to go up to the little spikes of this guy. So this bit here, because this bit sticks above the border. So we're going to go down. We're going to find where the border starts. So about there. So we're going to start about here. So let's close that off. And what you want to do is join up the lines. So just trace around the outside of the creature. Go up into the black bit if you need to. And then just keep coming down. Do little ones like that so you can do like curves and it connects. Then all we're going to do is come down here and connect that like that. So then we're going to right click in there. We're going to make new selection. Keep that at 0. Anti-allays, turn that on. New selection, press OK. And then that does that highlights it. What I'm going to do is press Control and C to copy. Going to click on the rectangle border. Going to make a new layer, and then Control and V, and that copies it, pastes it in. So obviously it's there at the moment. It's in the middle of the Rex. So we're going to click on these 4 little arrows up here, and then we're going to use our little arrow keys on our keyboard to move the image around. So you can move it freely, keep turning it on and off just to see where you got to go, and that is pretty bang on. I'm turning it on and off, you can't even see where it's supposed to be. So when you turn the border back on, now that bit of the dino is sticking over the border. We're going to do the same over here. Exactly the same principle. You're going to hide the border. We're going to go click on our Rex image. We're going to click on this little pen tool. Find where the border starts, so here, and then we're going to trace around the Rex very carefully. Doesn't matter if you're a little bit rough, just trace around it as best as you can. So let's just get these done. That's pretty perfect right there again. Turn that on, and then the spikes are above the border. So let's just go back to the original image. There we go. So we got that. So that is looking really cool. Okay, so I've got the Fjordur logo. So obviously it's pretty big at the moment. All we're going to do is resize that. And then we're going to go chuck that up in this top corner, which is where I have my logo. So we're going to go and chuck that up in that corner right there. That should be pretty good there. Again, you can hover over the image. So the image is there. Let's just move it up. So it's the top image. So Fjordur logo transparent. Again, I'm going to press Control and U. That brings up the hue saturation. I'm going to change that to 30 just to give it a bit more bold color. And then we're going to double click on it. And then it's going to bring up the layer style again. All I'm going to do is add in a drop shadow. So blend mode normal. Angle 132. Opacity 100. I'm going to change this probably to like 10. And then change this to probably 5. And that just gives it like a shadow, offset shadow there as well, which is pretty nice. So we're going to keep that. And then we're going to make another new layer because that's done. And we're going to go to this T here, which is text. And then we're going to write our text in. So obviously our Let's Play is called Primal Fear. There we go. Again, you're going to press the tick, and then you're going to go down to where it says Primal Fear on your layers, double click it, and then that brings up layer style. You can have it whatever color you want, but for the purpose of this, it's going to stay white. So I'm going to add in a drop shadow. I'm going to probably make that 5 for this one because it's smaller writing. Add in a very little outer glow, so it's just on 5 size. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this cutout rectangle. There we go. And then I'm going to free transform. And then I'm going to move that around just so it fits pretty perfect. So let's just do that. So we're going to put that there. So we've got Primal Fear. There we go. Looking good. Looking good. And then we're going to go ahead and then if we right click on that and then duplicate the layer. So we can copy the layer. So we've got now 2 of these. There we go. 2 of them. I'm going to put that one down here. And then we're going to click on the pen tool, the T tool. Highlight the writing. And then we are going to call this episode... I don't know. Well, let's just call it episode 1. There we go. So let's do that. Tick. And then you can mess around with this. You can bring it down a little bit if you want to. Just so you got the Fjordur in there. Like that. So Primal Fear. Episode 1. There we go. Fjordur. That is how I make my thumbnails. So we need to get this image downloaded from Photoshop. So what we're going to do is click on File. So yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. That is pretty much it that I make my thumbnails. The only little bit of work I do is to make the creature stand out of the frame. And as you can see, every other bit of the creature is underneath the frame. So it looks cool. It looks pretty cool. So once you're done with your image, what you're going to do is click File. You're going to export as. And then this window will pop up. And as you can see here, it's 1.8 megabits, which is pretty sweet. That is what we want. You're going to save it as PNG. Turn on transparency. 1280 by 720. 100%. By cubic auto. That is what you want. Metadata none. Color space. Convert to sRGB. And that is pretty much it. So then you want to export that. Click on export. And then save it to wherever you want to save it to. I'm going to save it to my desktop. And we're going to call this Primal Fear 1. Save. And then that should save. There we go. Beautiful. So what you want to do is close that off. Save it if you want to save it. And then we come to our screenshot here. And then this, guys, is the finished product. And there we go. Look at that. Now that is a thumbnail. But yeah, that's it, guys. That is absolutely it. So yeah, I really hope you did go on to enjoy this in-depth tutorial on making this thumbnail. I really enjoyed making it. Sorry if it was a little bit long-winded, but like I said, I've had a lot of requests asking me, Stevie, how do you do this? How do you get your creature looking like that? Well, now you know my secrets. But guys, I really hope you did go on to enjoy this video today. If you did, don't forget to leave a like down below. It really does show support here on the channel. And if you're new and you haven't already, do not forget to subscribe. So until next time, I really hope you guys do go on to enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll be sure to catch you all on my next video.